Hi, this is Kamera. My first few minutes with God. Day number 225, Jeremiah chapter 23 through 25. God says, "What sorrow awaits the leaders of my people, the shepherds of my sheep? They have scattered the ones they were expected to care for." He says, "You have driven them to destruction. Now I will pour out judgment on you for the evil you have done to them." God says He's going to bring back a remnant of His people from these different lands where they are now exiled. And He will appoint responsible shepherds who will care for His sheep. No one will be lost, and no one will go missing. God says He is raising up a righteous descendant from the line of David. And this person, he will do what is just and what is right. The Lord is our righteousness will be His name. This land is full of adultery currently, and it is under curse. This is what God says. He says they all do evil, even the priests and the prophets. They are ungodly, wicked men. They encourage those who are doing evil so that no one turns away from their sins. It is because of Jerusalem prophets that there's wickedness in this land. The Lord's anger will not diminish until He has finished all He has planned. He says, I have not sent those prophets who are claiming that I sent them, who are going around saying that there won't be disasters. I have not sent them. Those who are saying there's going to be peace, I have not sent them. Now get this. After Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon exiles the king, his officials, the craftsmen, the artisans, the Lord gave Jeremiah a vision of two baskets full of figs, and they were placed in front of the house, the temple of the Lord. One basket of figs were good, fresh. The other one was bad, too rotten to eat. God says the one basket of good figs, they represent those who are in exile. He says, I am taking care of them. I am with them. And those remnants will be coming back. And they will be my people, and I will be their God. They will return to me wholeheartedly, God says. He says the bad figs represent King Zedekiah, his officials, and all the people who remain in Jerusalem. He says they will be an object of horror, symbol of evil. He says, I will send war, famine, and disease until they have vanished. Jeremiah tells the people of Judah and Jerusalem that for the past 23 years, he's faithfully given the messages from God. He says, but you have not listened. You have not turned from your evil. The evil road you have passed, you have been doing a lot of evil. He says, don't provoke the Lord's anger by worshiping or idols. That's what He's been telling them. He says, and God will not harm you if you just turn and do right. But you have not listened, Jeremiah says. Isn't that something? For 23 years, He's been telling them that. So God says He's appointed Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon to go against this land and the surrounding nations. And He says, I will completely destroy everything and everyone. But then He says, after 70 years of being in captivity, God says, I will punish Babylon and make it a wasteland. He says, I will punish them in proportion to the suffering they cause my people. God tells Jeremiah to take this cup of anger. The cup is filled to the brim. He is to take it to all these nations, and they're to drink from this cup. He's taking this cup to the kings and the officials the leaders of these different nations. And I mean, there are a lot of nations. He starts with Jerusalem. He goes to the towns of Judah. He goes to Egypt, to Pharaoh. Isn't that something to love, to the land of Uz? The Philistines, Ashkelon, Gaza, Ekron, so many, the remaining of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, Ammon, Tyre. He goes to Sidon, the regions of certain areas of the sea, Dedan, Timon, so many places, people in distant lands, northern countries. He's gone to tribes of the nomads. He's gone all around. His final destination was Babylon, the king of Babylon. And they are to drink from this cup of anger that God has given them. And he says to give them the message. I am sending wars against you, he tells them. He says if they refuse to drink of this cup, they have no choice. He says you will not escape disaster. God says disaster is going to fall upon nation after nation. God's cry of judgment will reach the ends of the earth against all nations. Isn't that something? But there you have it, guys. That's day number 225, Jeremiah chapter 23 through 25. You have a God-filled blessed day.